Hey Paloma Health family, I'm so excited to be here today, answer some of your questions, so let's get started. Okay, so the first question is, I'm not gluten intolerant, but I have Hashimoto. Should I leave gluten out of my daily diet? So most people with Hashimoto's or a thyroid disorder have gut dysbiosis or leaky gut, which basically means that the gluten can enter your bloodstream and it can activate your immune system, which can cause inflammation. There's also the side that gluten mimics your thyroid tissue, which it then attacks, which is exactly what Hashimoto's is. So basically, I would say to avoid gluten altogether. I think once you heal your gut and you get rid of a lot of your symptoms, you can try to add back in an unprocessed organic version of gluten and see if it affects you and see if any triggers come up. Okay, so the next question is, any advice for those with Graves' disease? So Graves' disease is basically an overproduction of the thyroid hormone, which leads to hyperthyroidism, the opposite of hypothyroidism. I would say the most important things to do to reduce symptoms of Graves would be to eat a nutrient-dense diet. That includes pasture-raised, grass-fed meats, wild seafood, lots of healthy fats, nuts and seeds. You want to have lots of leafy greens and vegetables and fruits. And when you're eating those foods, it's really important to eat in a relaxed, stress-free state. So your stomach produces the acids to break down that food. Another important one is to reduce your stress, to get 7 to 9 hours of sleep each night, and then to reduce your sugar. And then overall, it's super important to reduce your toxic load in your system, and that can include everything from your makeup products to your skincare products to cleaning products. All these things have a lot of toxic chemicals in them, which are really bad for your thyroid and make it so you can't produce the proper hormones for your thyroid. How do I get the perfect iodine? So iodine is a little bit tricky because it can affect people very differently. It's important to review your levels with a practitioner and to see if it's the right route to take a supplement or maybe just to try iodine-rich foods. I advise my clients to start with iodine-rich foods and see how it makes them feel. Those foods can include organic pasture-raised eggs, wild seafood, Celtic sea salt, and then some sea vegetables like seaweed. So sometimes this can really affect people and trigger symptoms, and sometimes it can help. So it's really important to try that first and see how it affects you and then kind of go from there. Dairy, yes or no? So I get this question a lot, and dairy that we're eating today, that most people are eating, is highly processed and inflammatory. It's coming from sick animals, and we're ingesting that and getting all these toxins into our body. So if you can handle dairy and you want to eat it, I think it's incredible. It has a lot of omega-3s, a lot of probiotics, a lot of vitamins in it that are essential for thyroid health. So good sources of raw cultured dairy, organic dairy, would be raw cheeses, kefir. You can do whole milk or whole milk yogurt. You could do organic cottage cheese or creme fraiche. So there's a lot of different variations. Is a categorical AIP approach necessarily best for everyone with Hashimoto's? So an AIP diet, it is super restrictive, but I think it is super important to start with. You're not supposed to be in the AIP diet forever. You're supposed to slowly reintroduce foods back in. But it does remove a lot of those inflammatory foods, which cause a lot of symptoms for people. So I think it's really important to start with, and then just slowly add those foods back in and see what triggers you, and then you can start eating more foods. What does the Bioindividual approach mean? So Bioindividual is actually really important to me in my practice. It basically means that what will work for one person is not gonna work for the next. And it's really important for me to treat my clients this way because especially for Hashimoto's, one person might be able to have berries and one person might not be able to, and that's okay. And everyone's going to be different, and so you need to treat each person differently. What is a good smoothie for thyroid health? So I make a smoothie most mornings, and it's really important to get your protein, fat, fiber, and then add some greens in there. So my smoothie I'm going to tell you guys about is a chocolate version. So it has 1 to 2 tablespoons of cacao, which is the no sugar added raw form of cacao, which is has tons of vitamins and nutrients in it. Then I add an almond or coconut milk, about a cup, which has no fillers or additives in it. I add 2 Brazil nuts, which is that selenium, which is anti-inflammatory and helps with conversion of T4. I add in a handful of spinach, which is the greens, and then I add a couple tablespoons of almond butter, which is that fat, and then I add a couple tablespoons of hemp seeds, which is complete protein. So you're getting your protein, you're getting your fat from the nuts, and you're getting your greens from the spinach, and you're getting your fiber from the spinach, from all the seeds and the nuts.